Breaking. The Chancellor of the Exchequer just became the most vulnerable woman in British politics. Rachel Reeves stood in Parliament today as her own Prime Minister refused to guarantee her job security. What happened next sent shockwaves through Westminster that will reshape British politics forever. Behind closed doors, Labour MPs are already plotting her removal. If you want to see how a government falls apart in real time, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to witness is political suicide on an unprecedented scale. Here's what just happened. In the most brutal parliamentary exchange of Starmer's premiership, the Prime Minister was challenged directly about Rachel Reeves's future. The question was simple and devastating. Will the Chancellor remain in post until the next election? Starmer's response? Complete evasion. No confirmation, no backing, no support. Just awkward stumbling and desperate deflection. The silence said everything. When a Prime Minister can't defend his Chancellor, that Chancellor is finished. Parliamentary observers called it the most uncomfortable moment they'd witnessed in decades. Starmer, usually composed and controlled, looked visibly shaken. His hands trembled as he gripped the dispatch box. His voice cracked when he tried to pivot away from the question. The opposition seized on his weakness like sharks sensing blood. How awful for the Chancellor that he couldn't confirm she would stay in place, came the devastating follow-up. The phrase hit like a political missile. Starmer's face went pale. Labour MPs behind him shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The damage was immediate and irreversible. But this crisis runs far deeper than one awkward parliamentary moment. Sources inside Labour headquarters reveal that Rachel Reeves has become the most unpopular Chancellor in living memory. Not just with the public, not just with the opposition, with her own party. Labour MPs are privately describing her economic management as catastrophic and her political instincts as non-existent. The numbers tell a devastating story. Under Reeves's watch, Britain's economic credibility has collapsed. The pound has weakened against every major currency. Business confidence has plummeted to levels not seen since the 2008 financial crisis. International investors are pulling billions from British markets. And now her own Prime Minister won't even say she'll keep her job. The £22 billion black hole has become her political grave. Every economic announcement backfires. Every policy initiative creates more problems than it solves. Rachel Reeves hasn't just failed as Chancellor. She's become a walking disaster that's dragging the entire government down with her. Parliament erupted into chaos as opposition MPs sensed total victory. The Conservative benches roared with approval at Starmer's obvious discomfort. Reform UK MPs shouted, "Answer the question." Even some Labour backbenchers looked embarrassed by their leader's performance. Meanwhile, the Chancellor herself sat rigid on the front bench, her face a mask of barely controlled fury. Parliamentary cameras caught her clenching her fists so tightly her knuckles went white. For a brief moment, she looked directly at Starmer with an expression observers described as pure betrayal. The body language told the real story. Starmer couldn't meet her eyes. Other cabinet ministers studied their phones, avoiding any visual association with their embattled colleague. Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner was notably absent from her usual frontbench position. Even Reeves's closest political allies seemed to be distancing themselves. This isn't just about economic competence anymore. This is about political survival. And Rachel Reeves is losing that battle catastrophically. Labour insiders reveal that 3 separate WhatsApp groups have formed among MPs specifically to discuss post-Reeves scenarios. The conversations aren't about if she'll go. They're about when and how. Sources suggest Starmer has privately given Reeves until the end of October to turn things around. But with every passing day, her position becomes more untenable. The October budget, once seen as her chance for redemption, is now viewed as her likely funeral. Business leaders who once supported Labour are openly calling for change. The CBI issued a statement saying they've lost confidence in the current economic leadership. The Governor of the Bank of England refused to appear alongside Reeves at a scheduled event. Even traditionally, Labour-supporting trade unions are distancing themselves from her policies. The international humiliation is equally devastating. European finance ministers now routinely exclude Reeves from key discussions. The International Monetary Fund downgraded their UK growth forecasts, specifically citing uncertainty around fiscal policy. Rach